Well, good morning. It's hopefully a wonderful morning for you. It is currently, while filming, in the middle of the day for me, or actually end of the day. I'm on my way home from work. But by the time you see this, because we post our videos at 5 in the morning, every morning, Monday through Friday. If you visit the channel, if you'd like to see the next one, you know, that's where you would subscribe, hit the little notification thing in the corner, and you'll be up to date with all our wonderful videos and car vlogs. Currently we're doing the whole car vlog thing with Disrupted by Design Media. We will probably maintain that for a little while, and then we'll take it from there. But without further ado, let's begin today's car vlog. We are here in the wonderful, high-powered, 460 horsepower Corvette Grand Sport C7. This is a 2018. If you haven't watched the show, it's one of the 3 vehicles we do the car vlogs in. So, what are we going to talk about today? Excuse me. It's a little warm in here. Don't run the AC when recording, it messes with the mic, so I'm gonna have to sweat it out for you guys for a little bit. We're currently dealing with I don't know what the temperature is outside because I'm too lazy to change the dial on my screen to see what all my data is, but it's pretty fucking warm. It's probably about 82 degrees right now, and it's only 2:30 in the afternoon. In this wonderful New England weather. Now you have your weather for the day. Sadly, this weather report will do you absolutely no good because by the time you see this, it'll be after I've already recorded it, and weather probably won't be relevant considering it is New England. But I will more than happily do my attempt at being weatherman today, not knowing what the weather is. I'm going to say that it'll most likely be light, slightly humid, and most likely one of 2 things, either dripping wet or sweating balls. I'm gonna lean towards sweating balls because summer's almost over and I'd like to keep driving the Corvette. So hopefully by the time you see this, the weather's nice and you're ready to rock and roll and you're enjoying the wonderful weather here in New England. If not, well, I'm sorry, but you can't fire me because I'm not a real weatherman. Nor is anything I have to say actually anything relevant in this world. But yeah, so here we go, car vlog. Let's just wing something here. Let's go with what equipment I use when filming. I'm very open about with people I work with that, hey, I run a YouTube channel, and some people are like, oh, I can't really do that because I don't have the equipment, I don't have this, and I go, you have a cell phone, right? And they're like, yeah. It's like, you have internet access, right? That's all you really need to do vlogs. You don't need a fancy camera. I'm not using anything super duper fancy. I'm using a GoPro 5, internal settings, nothing hacked, nothing pre-programmed. What you see is basically the quality you can get out of a GoPro 5 with a few adjustments to the internal settings. You know, like dropping your ISO so it's not bristling right, you don't get a whole lot of white noise, using your software to up it instead of using the camera sensor to up it, taking auto off, you know, setting things to 1200 versus 3600. Just little stuff. If you look at any YouTube hacks video on setting up a GoPro, you'll see that there's common things. Change the damn light setting, lower it because the sensor's pretty good, and use your software to adjust everything else from there on going forward. But you know, you don't need anything super fancy. I started actually doing YouTube with my Session, which is a cheaper GoPro. It's slightly smaller. It was so cheap I got it for free, and that's what really got it into it. But you can use your cell phone. I know people who use their cell phone a lot to do vlogging. It makes things a lot easier for them. An old camera that has digital, you know, ability to digitally download stuff. That's all here and there for that. But yeah, I use a GoPro personally. I use a GoPro 5. That's what you're seeing on right here. Occasionally I'll use my GoPro 4, which was honestly a mistake purchase on my part. I had owned a Session. I was fully well aware that the GoPro Hero 5 was coming out within a week, but like a dodo head, I went ahead and bought a GoPro Hero 4 Black, and realized really fast that they had stopped making all the cool accessories for it by the time I had purchased mine. So I don't have the nifty screen that goes on the back. I don't have the cool skeletonized cover and housing, all that fun snazzy shit. I don't have any of it. What I do have, though, we'll talk about later, because there is one thing about the accessories I use while I film, and we want to talk about those because those are the things that really make magic happen. Like what accessories you use, right? Like next thing. Like, what kind of computer am I using to edit in? Well, I'm using a 2009, circa 2009, Mac Pro Tower. That's the big silver beast. It is not the dual quad core or the dual 6 core. It is the single 4 core at probably, I think it was 2.5 gigahertz or something like that. I forget. I don't know. I could look it up and tell you guys, or send an image, or post it. I might just post an image of what is actually on my computer and show you guys what I have. It's very archaic. It's old. It struggles. It takes me quite a lot of time in order for me to actually film, edit, and do things, because I'm trying to do all this stuff. I'm trying to edit gigs of video, right? In order to make a video. I have only 3 gigs of RAM to move information around in. So if you're not familiar with computers, that bogs a lot of crap down, takes a lot of time. What takes most people with newer computers 10-15 minutes to upload, I'm waiting 45 minutes to an hour more to do. But you know what? I'm a broke person. Not really. I don't have any other need to upgrade computers other than to do video editing, and I'm okay with the fact that I don't have all the cool flashy bang stuff. I don't run a big giant green screen. I don't have a whole lot of editing capability, and that goes into the software I use, right? So I use the standard iPhoto to download my photos from my camera, and I use the standard iMovie to edit and set up my collaborations and post my creations to YouTube. I don't use Final Cut. I don't use Adobe. I don't use Photoshop. I don't use any of those things. Not because I don't want to. I just don't have those pieces of software. So that makes a big difference. So with that, yeah, I use iPhoto and I use iMovie. Now to the fun part. Like, what accessories do I use? What accessories do I use? So the accessories I use for filming generally are my go-tos are right now in reference to the when I use the Hero 4 now, we bought the housing to mount it to the Karma gimbal. If you look back at my previous videos, I did an unboxing of the Karma gimbal. I use it for the car show, walking around. It gets rid of the bouncy bounce in the steps. It's very nice, and it has a screen. With the 5 it was really good, but I hated having to rip out the 5 to do other stuff. And so what we decided to do is, and the video settings that I'm using that I film at are lateral between the two systems. So I'm not trying to shoot like super ultra 4K. I shoot in 2.7K. I shoot at, you know, what do you call it? No more than 30 frames a second, unless I'm intentionally trying to do something for slow-mo purposes, but majority of the time I do 30 frames per second, if not 24 frames per second. I personally like 30 frames per second over 24 frames per second when I'm doing my video blogs, because it allows me to tighten in on my edits, which when I film these videos I do them in one shot, so I really don't edit much other than something off of the beginning or something off of the end. I don't do any middle editing. One of the things I was trying to emulate in this car vlogs things was also doing car vlogs, but not only having the car vlog, but doing it in one take, so that way it didn't, how do you put this? I didn't have to do a whole lot in post-edit. It would allow me to make my videos, load them in, post them, put them to YouTube, and call it a day, so that way I can maintain consistency for you viewers. And that seems to work. Yeah, it doesn't seem super polished. There's a few rough spots in my video, but I'm just keeping it real. This isn't a staged or production event. I don't have 10 people helping me produce videos. I'm not Solomon. I don't walk around with a fucking 4-man film crew and make it appear like I'm staring into my GoPro. You're right. You know, I take more of the mic approach from Speed 717. I keep it really simple with my equipment. I don't do a whole lot of fancy transitions. I do picture-in-picture because I like that effect, especially when you're talking about like our reaction videos to things we find, or when me and Missy are talking about something and we have the other camera to point it out, we can use that. But that's about as most I do is those type of transitions and stuff. I don't spend a whole lot of time doing you know, green screen, which I do want to get into for some interview type things I have planning in the mix. Yes, we'll be interviewing some people, mostly veterans, so if you're interested in seeing Vets with a Vet, is what I'm trying to label the show as, let me know, and we'll get rolling with it. If you don't want to see something like that, let me know as well in the comments, and we'll do something different. But back to accessories here real quick. See, there's one of those fun little tangents I drove on for no reason that I don't edit in post. And I kind of take that from deadmau5 and his coffee run thing. I thought that was really cool that you get people in the raw, and it made it more human. It didn't seem like it was this production, and he's right. It's literally him and a star in a car, and they go for coffee, and they talk about random shit. So it's beneficial. And in my case, I try to keep it that and keep it in a one-shot take. So what allows me to do that is maintaining 2 cameras, putting the GoPro 4 in the Karma, leaving the GoPro 5 on my favorite accessory, which is the El Grande stick by GoPro. That's the longer pull, the longer selfie stick that telescopes versus doing that crazy fold-out thing that the current GoPro stick does. Oops, I need to go this way. But as you can see, we've made it home. And I will leave you with this one last little bit here. One of my other favorite accessories, and you don't get to see it as much because it's currently holding the cameras in place, is the suction cup mounts. Now I say that in plural because I do use more than one. And not that I use more than one camera to film with, because I don't generally when I do the car vlogs, but I have crap, I just totally forgot what I was going to do with that other one. Because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get in here. But, well, there's the fun part about not doing stuff in post-edit. So there's another little bit of what we try to do. But the mounts, they come in handy. I use one in each car. We have one in the Trailblazer, and that jumps from the Trailblazer to the Jeep, and we keep one in the Corvette because it sits in the garage and I don't have to worry about, you know, the suction cup over it getting melty or nasty from sitting stuck to a thing while it sits in the sun all day. And for some reason my garage didn't open. Luckily I didn't start backing up, and I'm looking at the rear view camera here showing me that garage hasn't opened. So now I've pulled into the garage, and if you like the show, please remember to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, leave a comment. And here's something for you to comment on. Should I do a genuine giveaway? And what I mean by a genuine giveaway is like actually give something cool away. And we're not talking stickers or, you know, this cup I got from some venue, which I thought was funny. I saw that on YouTube the other day, and what's interesting is that actually worked. But yeah, like, we'll figure out something to do. Let me know. Tell me what you want. What do you guys want? You know, what do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? What do you want me to talk about? What do you want to discuss? You know, I like to talk, so let's rock and roll with that. All right, so we're here. We're home. Hope you enjoyed.